Despite his reservations about the Brotherhood, Bane thrived at the Sith Academy on Korriban, overcoming the mental block that held him back for so long. Sensing the enormous strength raging within her ally, Githany felt the time was right to make her move, and so tried manipulating Bane into assassinating Sirac by claiming she would challenge the Zabrak despite obviously not being ready for the confrontation. Yet to her surprise, Bane did not offer assassination as an option, instead offering to take her place in the duel. Though Bane was fully aware Githany was manipulating him, he too felt it was time to confront the Academy champion and finally get his revenge. Openly challenging Sirac in the training yard, Bane perfectly executed his battle plan, wearing down his opponent until presented with the perfect opportunity to strike, shattering a forearm and breaking his leg. Yet rather than land a final killing blow, Bane hesitated, giving Qasim time to intervene and end the duel. Having done the impossible, Bane won great prestige and adulation, rising from the lowest ranking student to the highest, recognized as the greatest apprentice of the Sith Order. But just like when he defeated the Makurth, something felt wrong about this victory, and he was not the only one to think so, as Githany was furious and disappointed he did not kill Sirac, thereby showing weakness and ruining her plans. Though Bane did not like to hear it, he knew she was right, as he hesitated and thereby showed weakness, a flaw he would have to overcome. Most others in the school, however, were thrilled with his victory, including Qasim, who gifted him a special curved-hilt lightsaber that required a special grip which changed its balance, causing the weapon to strike at odd angles, granting the user an advantage in combat. The weapon previously belonged to Qasim's old master Sith Lord Nadaz, who saved him from a life of slavery. When Bane asked what happened to Nadaz, Qasim freely admitted to killing his master in an honorable duel, as was Sith tradition before the Brotherhood, engaging in a contest of skill to win the title of master. This story left a lasting impression on Bane, who eventually integrated this tradition into his own evolving dark side philosophy. Though Lord Cortis congratulated Bane on his victory, he was admonished for getting private lessons and continuing to study the ancient Sith, ordered to stop seeing Githany and stay out of the archives. Refusing these conditions and feeling as though the Brotherhood had nothing left to teach him, Bane left the Academy to explore the Valley of the Dark Lords, where many ancient Sith were buried. Finding no sign of spirits or ancient power, Bane saw it as further proof the dark side disapproved of Khan's Sith Order. Returning to the Academy, he was disgusted to learn all students, regardless of skill level, were ascending to the rank of Dark Lord so they could officially join the Brotherhood and aid the war effort on Ruusan. Past his breaking point, Bane knew there was no place for him in Khan's Sith Order, deciding to leave and follow his own dark side path, perhaps alongside Githany if she could be persuaded. Yet his ally was furious with him at the moment, not only because he failed to kill Sirac, but also because he left the Academy for 2 weeks without explanation or goodbye. Remorseful for hurting her feelings, he followed her without question to the archives, where he was attacked by a fully recovered Sirac and his 2 Zabrak companions, revealing it was a trap they planned with Githany. But Bane dismissed his mockery, knowing Githany well enough to discern she had not betrayed him, and was in fact manipulating events to force a final confrontation with Sirac. Confirming his suspicion, Githany joined Bane in their attack against the 3 Zabrak, working together to kill their enemies. When it was over and Sirac was on his knees in submission, he offered to serve as a loyal follower, but Bane refused and at last fully embraced the dark side by executing his already defeated opponent. Instead of being angry with Githany for her subterfuge, he admired her cunning and tried to convince her the Brotherhood was flawed so they might leave together. But she had her own plans, and oppositely tried to convince Bane he must come with her to Ruusan so they could fight side by side, growing their reputation to one day take the leadership of the Brotherhood for themselves. Steadfast in her resolve to join Khan and rise through the ranks, Bane realized she would not join his rebellion, and so they went their separate ways. Believing that perhaps Cortis sent Sirac to attack him, Bane confronted the school overseer, creating a ruckus which caught the attention of many students. Despite realizing Cortis did not send Sirac, the argument escalated to the point where Bane officially left the Brotherhood and declared himself Darth Bane, stealing the Overseer's private ship to leave Korriban. Having spent much of his time studying in the Sith archives, Bane knew about several potential locations where he might find artifacts or knowledge to continue his training in the ways of the ancient Sith. Therefore, he traveled to Lahan, a planet steeped in the dark side, where he found the holocron of Darth Revan, a powerful Force user trained as both a Jedi and Sith Lord around the time of the Mandalorian War and Second Sith War. Learning much from this ancient lord, including Revan's insistence a master must have only a single apprentice, Bane was convinced not only that the Brotherhood was fundamentally flawed, but that it needed to be destroyed so a new Sith Order could rise from the ashes. Meanwhile, Lord Khan heard about this rebellious student who rejected the Brotherhood and grew concerned his behavior might threaten their unity. Thus he sent the young man's own mentor, Blade Master Qasim, to end his life. Tracking Bane through the force bond he created with Githany during their time together on Korriban, Qasim found and challenged his former student to honorable combat on Lahan, quickly proving himself the superior duelist. But Bane used his knowledge of the area to his advantage, luring his opponent to a position where he could send a force wave to collapse the temple, burying his master in the rubble. Bane then sent a message to Khan, informing him of Qasim's death, while at the same time feigning regret and claiming he was at last ready to join the Brotherhood. To demonstrate his sincerity, Bane sent Khan a gift, providing plans for a thought bomb, a special darkside ritual discovered in the Revan holocron that he claimed would aid the Brotherhood in defeating the Jedi. What he did not mention, however, was that the ritual was so powerful it would destroy everyone in the vicinity, both Jedi and Sith. When the young Darth asked to meet a representative of the Brotherhood on Ambria, Khan sent Githany, yet neither one of them trusted Bane's word, and so she was ordered to assassinate her former ally. Aware she could not defeat him in a proper fight, Githany coated her lips in poison and kissed him during the encounter. Tasting the venom, Bane was confident his powers would keep him safe, and demonstrated that fact by kissing her several more times, only to realize after she left, the first milder poison was a cover for the second, far more lethal layer of Synox. Feeling his life force draining from his body, Bane took drastic actions to ensure his survival, killing children to absorb their father's anger and pain, before killing him as well, taking strength from their deaths. Gaining a little more time, he made his way to a well-known healer named Caleb and threatened his daughter so he would agree to save Bane's life. Finding no pleasure in killing without purpose, the Sith Lord left Caleb alive after he recovered, realizing the man's skills might serve him again someday. Departing for Ruusan, Bane still held no ill will towards Githany, as her constant betrayals and manipulations were signs she was a worthy darkside acolyte, and perhaps might even be a candidate to become his Sith apprentice. After studying under Darth Revan, learning all he could from the holocron, Bane now had a better understanding of what must come after the Brotherhood's destruction, creating the foundation of his personal philosophy, which recognized infighting was a problem for the Sith Order, but believed Khan's solution was equally self-defeating. The Force was not fire to be passed from torch to torch, but venom, powerful in concentrated form, yet weak when diluted. In other words, with so many Sith Lords sharing the power of the dark side, none could achieve their true potential, and so the Order as a whole would never be strong enough to defeat the Jedi and conquer the galaxy. The Sith, therefore, must be governed primarily by the rule of two, with only one master to embrace the power of the dark side, and a single apprentice to desire that power. Then, when the student has nothing left to learn, they must challenge and kill their master in a duel, thereby winning the title Dark Lord of the Sith, and right to take their own apprentice. In this way, every new master would be more powerful than the last, and with only 2 Sith Lords active at any one time, it was easier to remain hidden in the shadows, operating in the background to manipulate galactic events as they deemed necessary, until the Order was ready to unleash their final revenge against the Jedi and Republic. A special thanks to all those who contribute to Civilization X, like Sir Dayron of House Ashford, Christ Wilder, the Crimson Shadow, and Knight of Iron and Ice, Fred Heartless. If you'd like to help the channel, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and click on the links below, or else go to patreon.com/civilizationx, where you can gain early access to videos, vote on future content, and watch the Patreon-only series, Heroes of Lore and Legend.